order, and sadly we don't have a gavel that I can see, so we'll just remember Joe doing a nice loud gavel smash at this point in the meeting. So welcome everybody to the Franklin Grand Isle Community Partnership meeting. We are going to start with introductions, and I also am not seeing our presenter here, so I hope they surface. We're going to start with introductions and go around the room. So if everybody can share your name, organization, and one thing that you're grateful for. And we have a 40-second time limit. I'm not seeing a bell, so you may not actually get a bell, but we still encourage people to do your best to keep it within 40 seconds or so. We do have a smaller group, so I don't think we're going to be, we're not big fans of legalism anyway, so if you go over, we'll just enjoy what we're hearing. So again, your name, your organization, and one thing that you're grateful for. I'm going to start with the people on the screen.
Just in case John gets going.
Oh, and we do have a bell. Sorry, we are back to legalism. Thank you, Chad. So we're going to start with Amanda.
3 seconds.
I'm Amanda, community health worker at the St. Albans Notch. I am thankful for the fall and cooler weather coming in.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. Matthew.
Yes, my name is Maxwell Floor. I'm organization with the Vermont Climate Council, statewide of Vermont. I'm thankful for, the community involved, in the southern parts of Vermont, helping each other, doing the best they can to survive these these floods, these past floods, it's just, it's pretty moving that everybody's trying to, do what they can to help the individuals in the affected flooding areas of Vermont. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Sadara?
Hey everyone, my name is Sadara. I'm one of the care coordinators at the St. Albans Notch. And I am thankful for my gardens producing a lot right now.
Awesome. Thank you, Sadara. And next person is Andrew.
Morning, I'm Andrew. I work with the Howard Center in St. Albans. And I am grateful to be here. The sun is shining and going to be a great day.
Thank you for joining us, Andrew. Haley.
Hi, good morning. I'm Haley. I'm one of the resource coordinators with the Working Bridges program at United Way of Northwest Vermont. I'm grateful to be here. My schedule changed and I couldn't come to this meeting for about a year. And I think it's the best meeting and it looks like I'm going to be able to attend regularly now. So fingers crossed, I'm back.
Awesome. Thank you, Haley. We're excited to see you again. Next person, Barry.
Morning, everyone. Barry Lampe. I'm the project manager of Housing for All, based at the Northwest Regional Planning Commission. Pronouns are he, him. I am grateful for everyone that organizes and participates in this community partnership. Many years ago, I was the project manager of the Champlain Initiative, the first community partnership. So I am proud to participate in this one and thank everyone for their work to keep this stuff going.
Thank you so much, Barry. Marianne.
I'm Marianne Damasio. I'm with the Community College of Vermont. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm enjoying the Olympics right now. We got some Vermonters in there. And then it's also beautiful to watch people from all over the world achieving their dreams. It's just beautiful.
Awesome, thank you. Megan.
Good morning, everyone. Megan Bridges, Director of Partner and Volunteer Engagement at United Way. One of my roles here that I absolutely love and I'm grateful for is to assist our partner funding team, so the volunteers that help with our funding decisions. And I am so grateful that our partners like Melinda invite us, welcome us in the summer to do tours, and I'm looking forward to visiting Turning Point of Franklin County and MCSS Parent-Child Center tomorrow, and I just appreciate folks taking time out of their day to welcome us in. So, see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Megan. Excited to see you tomorrow. And I believe I got everybody on Zoom, but I'm going to pause for a moment. Is there anybody I missed? Okay. So we're going to come to the room now, and I'm going to start to my left.
I'm Stephanie Comstock. I'm the director of the Spectrum St. Albans Drop-In Center on Lake Street. And I am grateful for some of our community partners who are really pulling together, especially Sheila at Working Fields and Kimco at Higher Ability, pulling together some school supplies for us.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Chad Fallon, chronic disease designee with the St. Albans Franklin Grand Isle Department of Health. I'm grateful I have just started taking on the beast of baking, and I'm grateful that my sourdough starter is still alive. It's been like 3 days, so.
Yeah, we take donations.
Yeah.
I may have a lot, I may have none.
Hey folks, I'm Erin Creeley. I'm the district director for the St. Albans Office of Local Health, part of Vermont Department of Health, and I am also really thankful and really enjoying the Olympics. That shared joy, that that camaraderie that we get to see every 4 years, I think is pretty cool. And just watching people at the top of their game is really inspiring. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Hi everybody, I'm Mish Altman. My pronouns are they, them. I'm the new court diversion case manager for the Restorative Justice Center for Franklin and Grand Isle counties. And so yeah, I'm stepping in for Jessica Mott, who is successfully transitioning into her youth RJ role. Yes. Very exciting. And I am grateful for the support that I have gotten in this position. It's my third day, I was telling the group. And so, yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity to sit here and learn what the great work you all are doing.
Awesome, and we're going to pause and welcome you. This is your first meeting, so welcome. Thank you.
I like jazz hands.
John?
Hi, John Gordon, Sheldon Methodist Church Food Shelf. And in keeping with the tradition I started last week, I'll continue through my long laundry list of other duties. I'm also the secretary of the board of directors for the Vermont Parent Representation Center, an organization that advocates and provides support for parents dealing with DCF. And for those of you that remember, Larry Chris gave a presentation here several months ago. And the legislature, in fact, passed and Governor Scott signed into law the first bill in about 20 years that provides some significant reform to the child protection system. We have a lot more work to do, and we're looking to have more also another bill coming through the legislature this next time around. Thankful for that. And I'm also thankful for, I love the Olympics, and we've gotten a couple of new volunteers have showed up to volunteer at our food shelf, and glad for that too. And the fresh produce, lots of fresh produce.
Nice. Okay. My name's Mary Pickner, and I am a substance use prevention consultant for Franklin Grand Isle with the Vermont Department of Health. Division of Substance Use Program, like that's my 40 seconds. And I am really grateful for a lot of things. I'm grateful for our fresh produce that I didn't know was growing. I was like, these are weeds. I'm like, no, it's squash. And I'm also grateful because I am taking an online class on how to teach an online class, and I don't really do, yeah, you can laugh at it, I know. I don't really do anything, like if you want me to fill something in, great, but like creating something on a platform has been a challenge, and I am incredibly grateful for people in my life who are taking time off to come and help me figure this out, because this is an adventure. And I'm excited because I'm going to learn this, but I am completely lost and terrified at this point. So, because it's graded. But thank you.
You got this.
I was afraid you were going to make me give the presentation.
Good.
Okay, and then I'm going to kind of sneak over to the corner of the room. I want to welcome Hunter. So Hunter and first a big thank you to Northwest Access TV for faithfully sharing this meeting with people who can't make it. And one thing that you're grateful for.
One thing I'm grateful for, I guess, is the cooler weather. I like the winter thaw as much as anybody, but by August I'm usually ready for the ability to go outside without like sweating through my clothes. So
Yeah.
I'm happy we're coming to the end of summer.
Awesome, thank you.
Senator Renner's.
Okay, so I'm gonna hop back to the Zoom because we've had a couple people that have popped in. And I'm gonna start with Senator Irene Renner. Thank you for joining us. So we're still doing introductions. If you would like to say your name, organization, what you do, and one thing that you're grateful for.
Morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm off camera. Grateful for my cat who's bothering me, so I'm gonna stay off camera. I serve in the state senate. This is the end of my first 2-year term. Busy with re-election stuff. And I serve on the Agriculture Committee as well as the Institutions Committee. And I'm grateful right now that I have a meeting tomorrow night to look forward to that is sponsored by, it's going to be about relocating the incarcerated women in Vermont into a new facility that would be trauma informed. And so I'm grateful to see little steps of progress in that direction. Thanks.
Thank you. And Heather Moore.
Morning, everybody. My name is Heather Moore. I am the Leaps After School Project Director for Franklin Northeast Supervisory Union and the Community Lead for the Enosburg and Richford Vermont Youth Project. Two things I'm grateful for. One was being able to go to the Vermont Council on Rural Development Annual Leadership Summit yesterday. That was amazing. And tomorrow I'm taking my 9-year-old for our first solo mini vacation, and we're going to Boston for 2 days, and we're going to have a blast.
Nice. Ooh, that sounds fun. I'll go with you and carry your bags. Thank you, Heather. That sounds exciting. And then we're going to come back to the room, and I see that Peter's joined us. So if you'd like to say your name, organization, and one thing you're grateful for.
Thank you. Yes, Peter Jenkins. Healthy Roots Collaborative is the organization I'm part of. And let's see, I'm grateful for all the farms that are giving us their bounty at this time of year. And also, last night, the teenager who I mentored is kind of a farm employee on my own little farm, just came back from woofing around the country, going to UVM in the fall. If anyone doesn't know what woofing is, it's like volunteering on organic farms, and you get to travel and stay at farms. So she was selling my produce at the farmer's market in Westford today, and just cool to see a teenager who I mentored become an adult and stuff. So it was great to do that.
Awesome, thank you. And my name is Melinda White. I'm a recovery coach supervisor in the emergency department, employed through Turning Point in Franklin County, located in the emergency department at Northwestern Medical Center. I'm also a Vermont Blueprint Mat lead and police advisory board member and BTAR board member and all that other exciting stuff.
Anything else?
No, I'm just gonna stop there. And part of why I was including a little bit of the police advisory board is the thing that I'm grateful for, and I'm gonna do a share screen, but we in this community, people that are in this community and familiar with some concerns that were happening in community, the municipality was kind enough to pull together a public safety forum, and it was extremely well attended. And following that, I had announced the third annual Substance Use Addiction Summit at the Champlain Valley Expo as a great next step for people to become more informed on what the resources are for people seeking treatment, recovery. We had 94 organizations hold booths. So then it's kind of the what's next after that. And we've been able to secure retired Vermont State Police Trooper George Rodriguez to do a couple of trainings. So the first one, I know they're laughing because we might have similar family members. So
weird.
There's a family connection.
Yeah. So in St. Albans, and he is going to be providing this training for free in the community so people can attend without any kind of cost barrier. The first one is going to be Monday, August 12th at 3 o'clock at the Catalyst Coffee Bar on Lake Street. So Karen, the owner of the Catalyst, was really enthusiastic offering her space to have a training done there. And I'm going to be sending out the flyers and the weekly updates this week, and they've got the links for registration, and it's important to register because there is limited capacity. So there's the training on Monday, August 12th at 3 o'clock at the Catalyst. And then there's also a training, if you look at this flyer now, on Tuesday, the very next day, August 13th, at 6:00 p.m. at the turning point of Franklin County on Lake Street. So George is doing 2 offerings. It's the same training, and it's about safety and preparedness training. So again, this is not to promote any paranoia in the community. It's just to respond to concerns that many people in our community and surrounding communities may have about burglary prevention and flood awareness, fire awareness. So what George does is he shares a little bit about like this thing called a go bag, a grab bag, and some of those things of what should I make sure that I have access to, so if I have to leave my house in case of a flood, in case of a fire, that you have the, batteries, flashlights, so those types of things. And then also prevention with burglaries. So some of the commonsensical things we know, like make sure you lock your car, take valuable things out, but he gets a lot more in depth about vehicle theft, porch, I don't like saying porch pirates, people who are concerned about theft in their community. So this is a free offering, again, Monday at 3:00 at the Catalyst, and then Tuesday at 6:00 at the Turning Point. Free, and you're welcome to share it with anybody, but I had paused on sharing it with community partners just so some of the public members that had a lot of interest in the safety forum had an opportunity to register first, but now it's open. So invite anybody. It's on Facebook. You can go to my page if you're looking for information on it. You can email me and then I'll send it out in the updates. So that's what I am grateful for, is another person willing to try to share a solution, because we already hear a lot about the problems, so it's nice to hear about solutions. And I'm going to skip over now back to the Zoom. I see Katie and Katie, so I'm guessing it's both Katie D's. If you would like to introduce yourself, your name, organization, role within the organization, and one thing that you're grateful for, then we'll have you go next. So Katie D's, if you are still there.
Hi,
there you are.
I'm Katie Doyle. It's just to meet Katie in the background. I work for the Turning Point of Franklin County, and one thing I'm extremely grateful for is the ability to count on this community to carry other members through tough times. So just everyone give us all props, because this is the community effort that could not have been done by oneself. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Katie. And is Katie DeForge, did you say she's there too? No? Okay.
He's talking to the boss.
Okay, tell her good morning, Karen. Okay. I believe we got everybody. I'm going to pause for 1 second. Let me get back over. Is there anybody else I missed that has joined us a little bit late and has not done an introduction? Okay, and if not, we're going to move to the next order of business, which is to approve the meeting minutes for last month. So those were sent out in the electronic meeting packet. So if there's anybody who reviewed those minutes and sees any edits, any modifications, or feels that they don't need it and would like to make a motion to approve the minutes, then we will invite a motion.
I'll move approve the minutes.
Thank you, John.
I'll second.
Thank you, Chad. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Fantastic. So this month we have a presentation from Peter Jenkins. Thank you so much for joining us. And did you want to do it from the podium?
You want to speak from the podium?
What would you like me to do?
Why don't you come to the podium? That way people can see you and I'll pull up your
Call it
PowerPoint.
up so you can move the slide. Okay.
Bear with us 1 second, everybody on
There's
Zoom.
coffee over here.
A little interesting.
If I drink more, I might have to use that first.
Gotta be better than my coffee this morning.
Oh no, it's bad. All right. Can people on Zoom see the PowerPoint? If somebody could just audibly say yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this is yours, and you can just, if you want to arrow down, if you're going to be using that. Is that what you were planning on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
So I think you could just arrow it down. So if you have like this right here, and you just kind of tap that.
Yeah.
Does that work?
That works great.
Okay.
I think 4.
All right, thanks everyone. Thanks for having me. I think I came to a community partnership meeting in 2019 with Coy Boynton, who was then like the
recording in progress.
It's okay. Who was then part of Healthy Roots Collaborative, and she's since moved on. But but it's been a while. So thanks to John Gorton for inviting us to present, and I'll just go through our 2023 annual report, which kind of is our most recent overview of our program, and my colleague Christine Picoro put some updates that are new to us in 2024. Gonna get back on the down arrow. All right. Yeah. Oh dear. All right. So about Healthy Roots. So this is actually out of date because, as you'll see on the next slide, we have a new home. But our work remains the same. We work to improve food access, education, and develop essential infrastructure and programs that support farm viability, all of which directly impacts the health and wellness of Northwest Vermont communities. And we have an advisory committee made up of these organizations, Northwest Regional Planning Commission, Franklin County Industrial Development Corporation, Franklin Grand Isle Community Action, Franklin County Natural Resources Conservation District, Lake Champlain Basin Program, South Here Land Trust, and the Abbey Group. So the 2024 update. So we are now actually part of CVOEO, the Champlain Office of Economic Development, Champlain Valley Economic Opportunity. Valley Office of, I'll just say CVOEO. You know the group that, so they are, they have a bunch of different programs, and their program that we have become part of is Feeding Champlain Valley, which was formerly Feeding Chittenden. So Feeding Chittenden saw that their work was expanding to Addison County, to Franklin County, to Grand Isle County, and they were looking at what is the work happening in the region already. We don't want to duplicate efforts. Healthy Roots is already doing this great work. Let's partner with them. In partnering, they're like, maybe you should become a program of us. And it was a nice synergy. Our previous home, Northwest Regional Planning Commission, was completely on board. They were happy for this change. We're more in a food access space with Feeding the Champlain Valley. So we're all excited about the change, and I'm happy to answer any questions about that. And our work, whoops. Maybe there's a way to just advance, but I haven't figured it out. So our work remains the same as it's been, and we have three main programs. So Gleaning and Food Access, that's the program I run. And for anyone who isn't familiar, Gleaning is going around with organizing volunteers, going to farms, and harvesting food in the field or picking up from a pack house, anything that the farmer can't sell. So maybe the crop doesn't meet quality standards for the market, maybe they planted excess because they always plant excess to make sure they have enough. Maybe there's, maybe it's they have other, their next succession of crops coming on. So that's the Gleaning program, which I've been doing since 2019. And then we've also, over the last 5 or 6 years, we've been doing some other programs, COVID programs like Everyone Eats, meals we were a big part of, and then after those programs wound down, we found new opportunities to both support our local farms through purchasing with grant funds, and partnering with other organizations such as Notch. So we now have a CSA program that we run through Notch, and there's 30 families, or 35 actually this year, including Alberg Notch, the CSA boxes are sourced from several different farms. We aggregate the different products the different produce in them, and they're distributed at Richford Notch, Enosburg Notch, St. Albans, Swanton, Fairfax, and Georgia, and then there's like a self-serve farm stand gift or like debit card kind of thing for the Alberg Notch. And then we also have a CSA program that serves migrant households at working on dairy farms, and that's culturally preferred produce that they are receiving. And those two CSA programs alternate weeks. So one week it's the Northwest Pharmacy CSAs, the other week it's the migrant household CSAs. And then we have the farm and food business support, and that's the work that my colleague Christine focuses on. And she offers one-on-one support to farms, marketing assistance, goal setting, stuff like that. And then we also have a farm to school as part of our program, and it's mostly focused on gleaning field trips. I work with schools to bring students out on farms and glean in the fall, but we're also partnering with the Abbey Group and South Hero Land Trust and Shelburne Farms to hold farm to school gatherings this fall in Franklin and Grand Isle counties, and that's to help support educators in kind of finding ways to grow and expand farm to school programming. So hopefully more farm to school stuff to come. All right, here's a look at pounds gleaned from 2023. I'm not gonna, if anyone wants to read this in depth afterwards, we can share it out. That middle slide, the middle slide was like blitzing last night, and so I don't know it's not showing anything there. So essentially we've expanded, let's see. Oh yeah, this is just kind of going over. So we had 4 new farms, so 20 farms total we worked with for gleaning. Purchasing from 7 farms, and then at the delivery sites, so 21 of our sites received regular deliveries, so weekly, or in the winter it was like every other week. And I do have a sheet, it's out of date here, but it's the food sites we serve with their addresses and hours and stuff, and it's out of date because we have the Planning Commission contact information on the front, not the new CDOs and stuff. But if anyone wants to see all the list of sites, I have that handout. The farm and food business support. Christine could speak more eloquently to this than I can because it's her field, but she's on vacation this week. So yeah, she's, let's see. So I believe the one-on-one work was with 6 different farms over the course of 2023, with the average increase of sales of 12.5%. And there's some of the things she helped them with, and then there's also she sends like weekly or not monthly emails, like emails to food producers in Franklin and Grand Isle counties. So that's like the 60, I believe that's the 60 farms engaged in programming with partnerships, plus also we put out this Northwest Vermont Grown Guide. It's an online guide, plus we have a paper one for Franklin County now. The Grand Isle has done a paper one for the past several years. If anyone wants one or several, you're welcome to take them. But it's a nice map with all the different farms that wanted to participate and information, so people can access those.
Peter, those maps are available online too, right?
Yes, we have a website that we manage with South Hero Land Trust that is the Northwest Vermont Grown website, so people can find stuff there as well. All right. Yeah.
I think there's a page down key somewhere on the keyboard that might do almost exactly a page. You wanna
Okay.
interrupt?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Except for now I've got this thing. Thanks. Let me get on a page. Let's see if this works. Page down. Yes.
A little bit. Almost.
Just
worth a
good.
shot.
Okay. Farm to school. More about the gleaning field trips. We had 11 last year. 180 students engaged in programming. Some of the highlights, we have the Northwest Technical Center that comes out multiple times in the fall, and they're on the left there, they were gleaning apples in Swanton. And then we also had them out to a local potato farmer right here in St. Albans, Jim Markle, and he showed them his pack house, and they helped run some produce through his wash line for us as well. So those are some of the things. We also had like 4th graders in Grand Isle picking cabbage and fun stuff like that. Snapshot of some of our different activities and numbers. Leave those off, but oh yeah, the other program of the Notch that I didn't mention, the other partnership is we have in the waiting rooms at the Notch offices, we have mini fridges that we stock weekly with produce. In 2023, we had grant funding to support that, so we could actually buy from farms and stock them. This year, it's just out of gleaned produce. So, but we still try to stock some produce there regularly. And yeah, so we had our partnership with CVOEO. It kind of started through the Richford Notch, and they were interested in partnering up there, and then it also started with we were already partnering with the migrant household distribution, so that was a 3-way partnership with us and Feeding Champlain Valley and Bridges to Health, which is the UVM extension program that does the direct connection and health support with farms, with farm workers. So we were partnering there, and then we had this opportunity. The Abbey Group donated a space at their new Blue Sky Packing warehouse in the their old building there, and we were able to fit that out with a walk-in cooler and other equipment, and that opened up for us last year in November, and we've been using it all season. It's been a great asset. There's a picture of it there. I think there's a couple more pictures coming up. And those kind of different ways we were partnering with CVOEO kind of morphed into becoming part of it. And yes, we had a 160% increase in local food purchasing last year. That's the CSAs and those grab and go fridges at the Notch clinics. And then we had EDA grant. We were able to buy a truck and trailer last year, a refrigerated trailer that has helped us with programming immensely as well. So see photos. I don't know why the funding, well, these are some of our funders here, but there was a pie chart, maybe, I don't know why that's not coming up. It's about a third, last year it was about a third, let's see. I'm not gonna remember what the different, this is why Christine is needed for some of these, but I think it's like a third philanthropy, a third state and federal grants, and I'm blanking what the other third would be, sorry. All right, here's our Sheldon warehouse. That we outfitted. There's some photos of our different CSA programs in the Notch grab and go fridge in Richford. Let's try that page down again. Not exact.
Maybe it does like half a page.
Yeah, it seems to. There's our truck and refrigerated trailer. That's out at Pamacala Farm in Grand Isle, and next to in front of our Sheldon warehouse. Yeah. So that's a little bit about us and what we're up to these days. And thanks to all our collaborators and partners. There's our new email addresses at the bottom if you'd like to reach out, find any more. And, yeah, thanks for having us. Happy to answer any questions, or if anyone wants to take any of these, if anyone is interested in our list of sites we serve, got that, and then also like a volunteer sign-up sheet for volunteering to glean if anyone's interested in that. Or you can just email us.
Does anybody on Zoom have questions?
I had a question about the farm shares at the Notch. What is the process to apply for a farm share there?
My understanding, is it better still up there? No, okay. Okay. My understanding is that, Notch screens patients for health, food insecurity and also health, I don't know if it's hypertension or some health criteria. Miranda Henry from the Notch would know more precisely, but that is my understanding.
Yeah, and I think Miranda.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I think Miranda Henry, I think, is on our list. She's on the membership list for community partnership, and yeah, there's screenings. And I'll mention just another addition that we've done. Sheldon Food Shelf, we just got a grant from the Bi-State Health people to provide specialty foods, people with chronic health conditions that need special foods like sweetener that's not sugar, things like that, things that the food shelf we can't normally get our hands on through our normal sources. And so we have this grant to purchase those things. So we work in collaboration with the Notch and with Healthy Roots. So Miranda Henry at the Notch in Richford, we started with 4 people last week. She had four clients, identify some things, put together menus, and okay, here are the foods we need to buy. We go purchase those foods, and we're only about a mile from the facility, the new facility there in Sheldon is only about a mile and a half from our facility. So they collaborate. So Peter, they use that facility to take the food that I purchased and the CSAs that were purchased and put them together for distribution. And so we'll be doing another group of people next month, but that's a 1-year grant that we got with support from the Vermont Department of Health and Northwest Medical Center and Healthy Roots all kind of supported our proposal to Bi-State, and we were awarded the grant. So
that's really exciting. Do you know if they look at all? I've worked with some folks who are struggling with food access, and one of the big factors in their food costs is like having like allergies to certain foods and needing to get alternatives. Do they look at that as well, or?
Yeah, I think or at least as part of this program, that's part of what this grant is designed to do. Because once again, when we're getting the foods that we get, people get their choice. Okay, I can't take that because I'm allergic to it. But yeah, we have limited ability to put our hands on specialty foods. And that's a part of what this grant's really designed to do, working with the Notch is, okay, the Notch, we're counting on the Notch to identify those people and say, okay, here's the kind of foods that we need to buy. We can't get them, so we can go buy them.
Yeah, that's so exciting. I'm really glad to hear that. I'll reach out to Miranda to make sure that I know the criteria for referral.
Yeah, I think, I think the program is probably full for this season. I think we just had I'm not sure, I don't know if there's more room in Alberg or not, but we were at 28 the first week and then 30, which was for the distribution CSAs. That was our criteria for this season, but definitely I think it's a program that could expand in future years, and I would say for the specialty and allergies and stuff, Healthy Roots, we're primarily just dealing with fresh produce, including what we purchase from farms. Occasionally eggs, we occasionally purchase eggs, but we also have, with this warehouse and our new home at CVOEO, there is another staff person who was part of Feeding Champlain Valley, who's also working out of there, our colleague Nora Lindberg, and she is packing up dry goods and just doing home deliveries. And she may have, it would be interesting to have her present or contact. I could share a contact for her, and she may encounter some specialty food home order requests. I'm not sure about that.
I can't figure out how to raise my hand.
You have the floor, Megan.
We can all see you, Megan. We can all see you.
This is the old fashioned.
You did it perfect.
Peter, Megan Bridges, United Way of Northwest Vermont. I oversee our partner funding and volunteer engagement. I'm thrilled to hear this news that you're under the umbrella of CVOEO. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you more. Obviously Feeding Champlain Valley and Northwest Family Foods has been part of our portfolio. So it's great news. So I'll be in contact because we want to share this great news far and wide. So when did that merger or change in fiscal sponsorship, when did that happen?
22nd July.
July 22nd, and I believe.
Oh wow.
I believe a press release is in the works. I don't know when it's coming out or if it's come out yet. So we can share that around when that happens.
For sure, it's fabulous news. I'm thrilled, and it just makes sense in so many ways. So I'm glad to see more and more of these types of make sense things happen in the nonprofit sector. So kudos. I'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Any other questions from people in the room or people on Zoom?
I actually just have one. Do you accept, if someone is picking apples to bring over cases of apples, or does it have to go through this official?
So for home gardens or home apple trees kind of thing? Yeah, so that's a good question. And it kind of depends on volume a little bit and where it is, and how busy I am. Sometimes I will, if this home gardener reaches out, I'll say oh, this is your closest food shelf, can you take it there? And sometimes it'll be oh, this is a quantity that I could actually distribute to many food shelves. Okay. And so or somebody has just a few apple trees in somebody's backyard could be worth an actual glean if they're in, loaded apple trees versus going to a big orchard. It still could be worthwhile and still get many bushels of apples potentially. So I think it depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I see Matthew, I see your hand raised.
Yes, thank you, Peter, for that presentation. I have a question and a concern. My concern is that data that you just presented to us, that's outdated. I do this across the state of Vermont as a whole, that, we're trying to get things, to be more updated, so our legislators would be able to think consciously, and, we have one online that, would like to see the data, as fresh as it can be, so they can think consciously on voting or any other legislative moving forward, because they can't vote if they can't consciously see the data that is, you know, true to word. That's just one concern that I have of mine, is trying to keep the data, like you said, you're using last year's data, which is, you know, it skews the point of what the reality is within Franklin and Grand Isle County, which we have a hard time, and this is what I see in my work across the state. We're having a hard time trying to move progress forward if we don't know the actual data. I do, and that's just my one concern. The question I have is, you know, in Alburgh, you did mention Alburgh, where the town where I live from, are there any like satellite offices even intriguing to expand those food options in the area of Alburgh, so my town could get more resources up here? Because it's pretty there's more people that need, you know, more resources and tools up here in this, you know, in this land than what it says on paper, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So that's just the question that I have to ask you. So like I said, it's the data that's a concern because it's not updated, like you said, it's outdated, and that's one of the concerns, you know, for not just myself but as a state as a whole. And the question was, in my town, are there going to be any more expansion of these, you know, programs, you know, moving forward?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question. So the data I would say, like, we're a team of two. Healthy Roots is a team of two. I only have the capacity to like crunch the numbers at the end of the farming year. So pretty much in January is when I sum up all the total of pounds distributed for the year. I'm not really able to do that in this busy gleaning season because I'm just out at farms all the time. But I would say, like, we could probably put together slides of showing like number of pounds, number of farms. I think we even have this, it just wasn't in this presentation, from year to year. So you can see how like the number of farms has increased year to year or changed, the number of recipient sites has changed year to year, the number of pounds, which has been, when I started, it was, I think, maybe around 20,000 pounds, and now we're up to around 50,000 pounds, and it's been 50,000 pounds of gleaned produce distributed over the last few years, or last 2 years, I think. And that's probably where we're going to be in that ballpark again this year. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of like we don't have capacity to be kind of crunching the numbers on a more than like yearly basis, or at least I don't. But I would love to be able to do that. And maybe with CVOEO there'll be systems eventually that get put in place that somebody else can be doing that, and we can have more current information. I'm not sure if there's certain specific data that you feel like would be most helpful to have on a regular basis. That I'd be interested in knowing that. Regarding Alburgh, so yeah, for gleaned produce, I've been serving Islands in the Sun and St. Amadeus. They're both of their food shelves on a weekly basis. And this I should say weekly basis during the growing season. So in the winter, there's less available. I'm places less often. And then the CSA program with the Alburgh Notch is new this year. So that's a program we've expanded. We have, I think, five slots. People get cards, like gift card, debit card kind of things to go shop for their CSAs at Darby Farm. And so that's a whole new thing we're starting for the first time this year in Alburgh.
Thank you very much. You know, that was just a question to ask, and yeah, just to put the word out there. I think rural development of UVM Vermont has that. You know, the new office that Peter Welch had put in place to learn more about the rural areas of Vermont statewide. I'm actually a faculty member of UVM Network, so I do insurance, medical, and education. Please, it's complex, you know, as it is standing, and the stuff that I do across the state is, you know, it's tiresome, but it's remarkable in one way that we gotta do better to best protect our communities out there. And data is very, very key moving forward? Like I said, is there a way in the near future we can get a live document that, like you said, see a snapshot over time, and making sure when we add a town that is being recorded, the most, not just efficiently being recorded, but also the most effective way of recording these towns that joined. So we know that we're not going to have a problem when we go back to our meeting minutes or, any type of, if we want to bring this to the legislator, they know which towns have already joined, which towns are in the process of joining, and which towns are going to be approved in the coming years. So it ain't like we're trying to go in this vicious cycle of trying to redo the work or do someone else's work, and just trying to, repeat someone else's, work, which is, that's just, trying to make us inefficient in the long run. So just, trying to make sure that we're, not just up on task, but also making sure that our information is updated and correct to the towns that we're adding, year by year, or like you said, a monthly basis on that. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Any other questions?
I'd like to just throw in a couple more comments first. I think one thing that Peter didn't mention is I call it the collateral benefit of what Healthy Roots has done over the past few years in terms of getting local farmers interested in understanding the food shelf network that they need to support, and beyond which we really have a hard time capturing numbers. Peter can capture the numbers. Okay, they glean stuff and they can weigh it, and when he brings stuff out to food shelves, when he brings stuff to my food shelf, he weighs it, so he's got a document. Okay, this is how many pounds they gave you. But beyond that, most of us who run food shelves, we have individuals who all of a sudden they bring in a bag or a box of fresh produce, or some of the producers that he gleans from also give food directly to food shelves. So just the awareness and of this whole process of pushing fresh produce out through food shelves that Healthy Roots has kind of helped generate, the benefit goes beyond just the pounds of food that goes actually through that Healthy Roots facility. And very much appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
I just have one other question, because you said you have a new building and a big walk-in. I'm guessing that will extend the life of your being able to, like, I say, hold on to food, like store it.
Yeah.
Like, potatoes, which I'll never pick again, but, so.
Yeah, the warehouse is key. In the past, we had like rented pallets worth of space in some other farm's cooler, and the farms were also at the far ends of our region, so Sheldon is pretty central, which is very key. We had that last year, actually. That refrigerated trailer was parked at the Planning Commission office in St. Albans, and that was key. That was like our hub. So that was also good. But the year before that, it was like, it was all these different farms. We got the produce here and there. So things are definitely improving there. For the storage piece, especially this fall as more storage crops come in, we can store like cabbage for months, winter squash, potatoes, carrots. We're fortunate with the gleaning program. When I started as a seasonal staff person. I thought I was working from like March or April until November, and then we were like, well, there's more work. You can stay on through the winter. And then I started partnering, especially with Riverberry Farm in Fairfax. They're processing carrots all winter long. I'm getting carrots and turnips and stuff, and supplementing stuff that we've stored up, apples, things like that. So trying to make it a more year-round program. So it's slim pickings. There's not a lot of variety, but in the winter. But that's this storage is going to help with that immensely. And then the other piece to that is like having enough hands to pick stuff. I think is sometimes the issue, and enough volunteers that I don't spend all my time driving food around. I can spend more of my time on farms, picking on farms, working with volunteers. Because the driving, we know how big Franklin Grand Isle counties are. Like, so much of the time is driving from farm to farm. We're driving from farm to our storage or to a recipient site. So yeah, so the volunteer piece is like that. If I can get more volunteers, that's how I can grow this program. That's how I can get more produce to people. And I do have a dedicated crew of volunteers. One is meeting me at 10 right out here in the parking lot to take stuff places. So yeah, so I have volunteers that way. I have volunteers from schools. I have individuals who just show up once in a season. It's all great, and I just need more. So if you are connected with people, please pass it on. People who might like to help. It's a great way to volunteer. You're outside, beautiful place, and sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's buggy, but generally it's a beautiful spot to be, and yeah, all you have to do is give a couple hours of your time or drive from one spot to another and
Most high school kids need community service hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
My son is one of them.
Yes, I need to tap into the community service, the high school, and also, yeah, Spectrum is one of our sites. Stephanie's right there. She gets our apprentice, so yes, it's great.
I see, Matthew, you have your hand up.
Yes, and thank you, Peter, for bringing that outline together. It's just another big concern that I'm seeing across the state is the word volunteerism across the state. It's being used as a way to not compensate individuals for their hard work. Unfortunately, I work on with the state, and this is a very big concern of mine, especially when it's being characterized and used to get people to do the work for free. When me and you both know not everything's free in the state of Vermont. We know that. It's just, I know that in my work. And the work that I do is enshrined with equity. How can we pay people? I know that should be an optional, in my opinion. It's just, the work that I do is, I'm seeing little participations in this volunteerism work because most people, to this day, are living paycheck to paycheck or can't make ends meet. So, when somebody says volunteerism is a good way, it defeats the purpose of the person's actual living status, And, everybody likes to be compensated. So, you know what? If they want to volunteer, they should be compensated for their time, regardless of what it is, because that's the best way to get more participants. And this is what I'm seeing across the state in general, that volunteerism is being used as a counterproductive way of, getting people to participate more. It's like, what? If you have, experience, working for, like I said, a nonprofit or experience working for any industry in Vermont, you deserve to get paid and compensated. It should be, let's use the word volunteer over and over and over again to the point that it's like, it's okay if it's optional, but I won't be recommended to everybody that, don't see it, that way. And there's some people across Vermont that sees that as, as an optional. Not like I want to do it because I want to, but people are being, forced in that, limelight, as you call it, to consider it the best good of Vermont when literally people are just living paycheck to paycheck just to survive. And I think compensation would be the best motivated way to get participants than trying to, let's do this for free. Let's see you do this job for free and see what happens. I said that's, to me it's like, that's, unfortunately, the state of Vermont is taking advantage of people that, that may not have means to do that work. And like I said, in my work, I make sure that compensation is part of this, because like I said, for the best work, best productive, best outcomes for those communities, including Grand Isle and Franklin County, is, just to compensate them is the best way to say thank you for your time to these community members. And there's not enough of that in the state. It's like, let's do it for free and see what happens here and out, instead of actually trying to work, making that, that goal would be achievable, but also that goal to be, positive outcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay.
I wanted to, sorry, this isn't a question, but I wanted to share a resource, just in case people didn't know about this. I recently learned that Vermont Veterans Outreach has a dental program.
Yes.
And I've just really seen people struggling to pay for dental care kind of across the board, even with sliding scale options. And so I wanted to just pop it into the chat in case there's anyone within your networks who is a veteran who needs access to dental care. So I put that in the chat, and if somebody doesn't have an honorable discharge status, but they have questions about whether their discharge status could be transitioned to honorable, for example, someone who was discharged during Don't Ask, Don't Tell, or other situations like that, Vermont Veterans Outreach can work with them on navigating that process if that's something they want to pursue.
Oh, fantastic. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Is it okay if I head out? I
Yes,
meet my
you're after,
volunteer.
your person is waiting in the sunshine though, but yes. For now.
Yes, no, thank you for having me. Does anyone want any resources?
Can I have like,
I'm just gonna leave one of these.
okay, perfect, okay. Thank you.
And then people can take what they want.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Mary, do you mind just clicking on the chat so I can write a quick link down for what was shared?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
Melissa, whoever.
I need to,
I can do that. I gotta do that there.
what am I doing? I'm putting.
No, I get it.
Okay.
I just wanted to write down the URL.
Yeah.
Oh, for this thing?
Does that work?
Perfect.
Is this for the veterans thing?
Yes.
I'll just put, I'm emailing it to myself, so. Okay.
Okay, so at this juncture, we'll open the floor for any community events, updates, announcements, initiatives. If there's anybody who has anything upcoming that you would like to share, this would be a great time to do it.
I like to start.
Okay, so John.
I'll give you this.
Sunday night, the 11th, from 7 to 9, there will be a vigil in the park in Enosburg for the community surrounding Roberta Martin. Both the communities of Enosburg and Bakersfield were severely traumatized by that whole event. There's been an outpouring of support for the family. Roberta's sister-in-law is one of my parishioners at the Montgomery Church. I mean, people were literally at the point where they were scared, they were suspicious of anybody coming around their neighborhood that they didn't know. So from 7 to 9, any of you who are in the area and want to join that vigil, 7 to 9, Sunday night, the 11th, at the park in Enosburg.
Thank you so much, John. Any other announcements, updates? Erin?
Just wanted to let folks know, and I'm happy to share resources if this would be helpful, but so the state of Vermont tracks mosquito pools around the state, and we have found mosquitoes in our region, in the pools in our region that are positive for P.E.G, Eastern Equine Encephalitis. So you may have heard of P.E.G and you may have heard of West Nile. Both are not great, but P.E.G is dangerous and can be deadly if contracted. Granted, we have not seen a human case of P.E.G in our region, actually in our state, in very many years. We did have we had a couple animals that became sick with P.E.G last year and were impacted by that. So just wanted to remind folks to check out healthvermont.gov for resources on how to keep yourself safe from mosquitoes, especially around dawn and dusk. If you've got kids outside, if you know people who are working or living outside, you can share some resources with them just so that they're aware. The health department also has a limited number of hot weather preparedness kits that do have Cutter bug spray in it, which is effective against mosquitoes. And so if you have folks in the community that you're serving that could benefit from having a hot weather preparedness kit with the bug spray in it, just reach out to me. My email is part of the part of the list of that we get from these meetings. It's also my first name dot last name at vermont.gov, and we can work on getting some kits out to folks so that you can distribute those.
If you have horses, get them vaccinated.
Yes. Mm-hmm. There's no vaccine against Triple E for humans.
No.
No.
And I did put in the chat the 2 flyers for those 2 trainings that I talked about. So again, they're emergency preparedness trainings. So those are in the chat, and then I'm also going to be including them in the weekly updates. I might even try to do those updates a day early, do them Thursday instead of Friday, just so people have enough time to register. And then also, we like Partnership Executive Lead Team, the PELT team, are looking to recruit an additional member with strengths in tech and admin. So we're really in need, and I am not beneath groveling and possibly buying whoever decides to join something from Red House Suites to bribery.
No, it's encouragement.
Yeah, so we're
willing to incentivize people.
That's it. This is part of contingency management. Oh wait, that's
Yes.
the SUD world. So yeah, we are looking for an additional member. So we know that different people have different strengths. So the specific skill set we're looking for is somebody who is committed to coming to the meetings on a regular basis and support the behind the scenes stuff. So with the weekly updates that go out, with managing the email, the FGI Community Partnership Gmail account, with responding to those emails, with creating helping with the agendas, the meeting minutes, the attendance, because we do an Excel, we do a CSV, and then we do a Word document. So just a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that admittedly I feel like I am really struggling to complete all of the tasks, and without Joe here, it makes it a little bit harder too. So ideally, again, it would be somebody who is comfortable with admin. We're not gonna make you be like a face and have, if you're uncomfortable with like that, you don't have to worry about a limelight or being asked of anything more than just helping with some of the work behind the scenes. And I really have a strong goal date of getting somebody before September's meeting, because I'm not gonna be here for the October meeting, potentially the November meeting, and I'm a firm believer that systems shouldn't be built on people, they should be built on a system. So really just trying to get some support, so in a loving way to beg and plead and buy you a maple croissant. So if you're interested, please email me. You can text me, call me, email me, but whether it's you're interested or if you're somebody who supervises somebody that's a strong employee, the opportunity that the position provides is also connection with our community partners. So this is a great way, managing this 300+ person listserv that we have and answering emails and coming to these meetings is such a great way for anybody who might be a little bit new or trying to dive deeper in their career and get to know our community partners across Franklin Grand Isle County. It's a great opportunity for that too. So if you're somebody who supervises somebody that you think, they're really looking to grow and to get to know the community leaders, this is a great opportunity for them too. And it's really not a huge undertaking. It's really not huge. It would just be a big help to our executive lead team, because there's a lot of moving parts that aren't seen on a Wednesday morning. So.
And you won't be doing it alone.
Exactly.
So.
But a warning, no matter what Matt LaFleur might like, it won't be a paid position.
I have a question. I'm happy to share this with my team, but how many hours per week do you think this is as a time commitment?
I would say, maybe 1 hour a week, okay. 2 tops. Definitely an hour a week, but 2 tops, because we do, and I guess I'll go in a little bit more description just because we have extra time. So it's essentially managing the emails that come in, and then on making sure that the weekly updates go out by Friday. Sometimes I send them out on Thursday, depending on events going on in the community, but by Friday, so that and that consists of a few different emails, because there's such a big listserv that we have to do multiple emails, copy and paste and all that. So again, it's not that it's hard, it's just time consuming and tedious. And the other piece is even from this meeting, like on the Excel spreadsheet that I send out, I bold whoever's attended and then update any new additions, and then copy and paste on a Word document, so that can be actually shared with people, but we use the Excel document to do future emails. And the other thing is, whenever we do send out emails, there's still a ton of email addresses that bounce back. So if the person had, you know, especially in the first month for training purposes and getting connected and building a relationship, I mean, we could sit together, and if they're able to sift through and help clean up that listserv, because it's continually changing with people who are leaving their position, and also if we see that somebody's not there, oftentimes people move from organization to organization. So having somebody with a little bit more bandwidth to say, like, oh, Mary's has bounced back, why is that? Oh, wait, I heard she's at NMC, so let's get the NMC email address. So just those things, because we could do so much more with this being even more professional behind the scenes, like it is on the Wednesday mornings. And then we make sure the week before the meeting to send out the packet. And that's the other thing too, people are probably noticing, like, we don't have physical hard copies of the packets yet. So if it's somebody who's working for an organization that's potentially willing to print a couple out, and we don't need a packet for everybody who comes because it's available electronically, but just those types of little things to make sure that, like the attendance sheet, which I know that's going around, so just to kind of make sure as everybody signed the attendance sheet, are the email addresses readable so we can make sure people are getting the updates when they want it. So just somebody as like that backup person, especially for when I am not here, or just to share that burden if it's, you know, an excessive week. And yeah, so just to try to get some support, so that way, I hate to keep saying if I get hit by a bus, but if I get hit by a bus, I don't want to be missed.
If you win the megabucks, we all
yes, if I win the megabucks, I don't
yes.
want to be missed. I want to
Yes.
know that there's no even notice because everything is still going smoothly.
And we already know there's not a lot of transportation up here, so that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, good luck.
There's no buses up here.
Good luck finding the bus.
So yeah, anybody who has a person in mind or is willing to help, just reach out to me, and then I'll definitely make the time to sit with somebody. And again, it's not super challenging as much as it's just, you know, one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh, it's already Friday and the ED has been hopping and I haven't come up for air and haven't had a glass of water in 3 days, and I still have to do the updates and the minutes and the attendance and all that stuff. So it's one of those things that it's something that could easily be picked up by somebody who just has a little bit of time already at a computer. And if they want to get creative and make it look even better, we're game. And that's all I had. And thank you to everybody who participated in National Night Out last night. Beautiful weather, fantastic band. And it looks like some other communities I saw had a good turnout too, so. Are there any other updates, announcements, initiatives? And if not, in the words of Kristen Pryor, we can have the gift of time if there's nothing else. So thank you all for coming to this month's community partnership, and we will see you next month. Yes. Thank you.
That all sounds good to say.